Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, back for another video. We're gonna be working on the subframe again. This is gonna be part 2 of the raise. This is the second half of the raise. This is all the stuff that's coming off of the bottom of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what we're gonna get into today. Here we go, got the subframe. Skipped a few portions of it. Obviously didn't have this side done in the last video. This is the side where the steering box mounts. Went ahead and cut the top off of it here. Had to delete this mount for now. But both of the top sides are welded up. It's pretty level, seems pretty solid. Pretty happy with how it came out so far. But now the second half of the raise is what we're gonna be working on. So it's basically just gonna be taking off basically where this line is. We're gonna be cutting off the bottom half of the subframe there. And once we cut that off, then I'm just gonna weld on a flat plate to the bottom. So I'll go ahead and flip this over for you. So I got a few pieces of it taped off right here. Basically, like I said, just cutting along that line, gonna try to get it nice and even. This is just kinda, I was laying the tape down, eyeballing it, but I am gonna just cut out the center section and then try to level it out so that it's all flat and all smooth throughout this whole part. So yeah, that's basically the plan. I think first off, gonna cut this center section out, gonna do a little cut right here, and right here, and then right here, and then right here, just cut out a little piece right here, and then start going from there. So I'm gonna start getting to cutting, and I'll see you guys in the next clip. Alright, so went ahead and cut out this front piece right here. So this is probably gonna work pretty perfectly. Basically, how it's designed is there's 2 tubes. There's one tube that comes here throughout, and then there's one tube that's on the front half. So there is a back half of this tube. So next part that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut here and here, and then I'm gonna take this top plate off, and then once I do that, then we're gonna go from there. Gonna be interesting because I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna cut this inside part quite yet, but I will figure it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off and come back in the next clip. Alright, so back, got the center section cut out. Was kind of a bitch. Went ahead and cut out these front pieces and then cut off this top section. And then since the tube was tied in down here, I had to cut the top section in the middle to get access to these tubes from the inside. And then I could cut off this center section of tubing from each of the halves. But so far, pretty solid. Now I kind of just have to do what I did over here. I'm going to take this tape off and redo it. But just kind of mark out just a basic line over here to keep it flat, because I'm obviously not going to follow the curve of this. I want to cut it like this basically, just to keep it all flat. And then it'll basically end off over here, and then I could just put one big flat plate on it. But so far, looking pretty solid. Gonna have to flap this down obviously to get it all smooth, all level. But pretty good. It's looking at about, so there's 2 ways that I might do it. Right now we're looking at about almost an inch of raise. If I go ahead and cut this part down, and I go below basically the little line that's here, if I shave that down, then it will be a full inch of raise. So I might do that, but I'm gonna get everything cut out and then see where I wanna go with it. So I'm gonna keep cutting. First off, like I said, I'm gonna mark this out here, and then go ahead and cut this here, cut the other side, get this first half moon section of tubing taken off, and then we'll go from there. So I'll see you guys in the next clip once I cut this piece off, then we can see what's up. Alright, we're back. I skipped a few steps, but we are here now. So got a lot of the subframe cut off. Basically I have this one corner basically all cut. Still needs a lot of trimming, especially on this side, just to get it smoothed out and level, so that we can weld the plate on the top. But this whole corner is cut out, so that's how it'll be on each corner. I'm about to finish cutting this one and then cut this one and then move on to this. Went and got my big ass disc so that I could get all the way through from this side. So that's working pretty well, to be honest. Just taking a break because this thing is so hot that it keeps cooking my batteries. I'm about to go buy a plug-in one tomorrow because I'm done with charging the batteries and waiting for it. Getting so annoying. Pretty solid so far though. It's looking like about an inch of raise so far. I am going to grind down, like I said in the earlier clip, I am going to grind down this part here just past the line to get a full inch of raise. And then I think that I'm going to take some of this, my 11 gauge sheet metal that I was going to use for the floor. I'll use a cardboard, some CAD design on that top part. If this will ever focus, it won't because this camera hates me. For that top part, I will take a piece of cardboard, figure out what size it is, and then cut out a piece from this, and then I'll weld it on the top here. It's either that, or I have this little piece of 16 gauge metal, which I might use this too. But you know, the thicker the better. I'll probably just see once I get there which decision is going to be the best. I think also what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece, I don't know where I put it, I am disorganized, this piece right here, trim it down a little bit more, and then actually put it inside of this part here. Put it inside, like right here, but pull it up a little bit more, just basically like right under here, flush with this, and then weld it in, just so that there's a little bit more rigidity here under it, and then I'll weld the plate on top of it just to seal it up, add a little bit more structure, because basically since I cut this bottom piece off here, this top plate is the only thing that is holding these two bars of the subframe together, other than, you know, the top half of it here. So just trying to keep as much structure in it as possible is going to be the goal here. So like I said, I'm going to finish cutting out this, cut out this corner, cut out this, and then once everything is fully cut out, I'll show you guys the plan for welding this in, and then welding the plate on the top of each of them, and then we'll go from there. So I will see you guys in the next clip. Ladies and gentlemen, another day of working on the subframe. This is going to be the same video. This is just the second day of that video for me. So this is where we ended off last night. Went ahead and did a little bit more this morning before I had some shit to do. But this is where we're looking. So I have this section cut off, and then this section cut off. It needs to be cleaned up a bit more, but I have started doing the design process for the actual plating that's going to go on top of it. So I went ahead and used some cardboard here, just starting with the first design. This is just the design that's going to fit in the center section here. This is cut. This is right here. It's a bit bigger, so I'm cutting it out of my piece of big steel over here, 1/8 inch. This is the stuff for my floor, but I'm just going to use some of it for here. So just right here, have it already marked out to cut out. It's going to be a little bit too big, but the idea is that it is actually going to slip inside of here a little bit, and then I'm going to back weld it under here to these bottom lips just to add a little bit more structure, and then I'm going to weld a big plate on the top of it, probably out of some, maybe a little bit thinner metal. We'll see. I might go to Home Depot tomorrow, go get some more of the 16 gauge stuff, a little bit thinner, see if I can get a bigger plate of it that I can actually do the whole bottom in one piece and have it cut out to spec. Basically my idea as of right now is I'm going to have the subframe flipped over to weld it, and I'm going to weld it on the underside, like right here along the actual tubes, so that once I weld it on, it can't get ground off and the bottom of the subframe actually fall off if it's welded from the backside. That'll never touch the ground, so the actual plating will never just fall off the car. It might get scraped through, but then it's easy to just weld another plate on, versus if I weld, you know, if I cut it down to size here and actually put it inside of here and weld it here, then the actual weld will be getting scraped away. So don't want that. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this piece out of my 1/8 inch and then start actually cutting the little side slits, the little half moons on the sides, so that we can actually slip it into the center of the subframe. And then we'll get back. Like I said, I have a little bit more flattening to do, but looking pretty solid so far. This is just kind of ballpark stuff. This side needs a lot more cleaning up in this corner right here, but all good. Finally got myself a corded angle grinder, so this has been making it go way smoother, just because I don't have to wait for the batteries to charge up every time. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut that piece out, and then I'll get back once I have it ready to slip in here. See you guys in the next clip.
I'm rich, you wanna know why? I addict, I love to get high. Look, I'm way in the sky. I'm flickety fly. Wake up in the morning, I put that shit on and I don't even try. I fuck with no horn and they clip or the board and no time to say bye. Yeah, let's hop in the ride. He'll get a red out of wide body wide. I'ma pull up, I'm already outside. I show you trust, keep the real on your side. We turning up when the enemy die. Run that shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? Back for day 3 on the subframe of videoing it. Yeah, people be yapping. I be taking too long. Whatever, I just go at my own pace, you know. I'm just listening to my book while I do this. I'm just chilling out. It's just a hobby, man. Basically, a lot of progress since the last time I've updated you guys. So, got it ground down quite a bit. Went ahead and cut out this whole middle section. I'm just about to tack this middle plate into place. So that's going to be the lower part, and then I'm going to cut out another plate that goes above here, and then I'm going to box in the sides of it here and here, so it's one sealed middle compartment. But I got the sides ground down. Basically, I need to do a little bit more here on each side, just on this rear part, so it can sit a little bit farther down, and then I'm ready to start designing the actual bottom parts of it, the actual plating for the underside. So we'll see how that goes. But right now I'm just gonna tack this into place and then kind of get set up, take the measurements for how big I want this top plate to be, and then we'll go from there. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw you guys over here on the tripod, go ahead and tack this into place, and then come back once I'm done. So hell yeah. This damn plate keeps falling down. I gotta figure out some way to hold it up to like the perfect spot.
Don't split this shit with your guys. I watch it for niggas I know they despise. They cry me a river, she started to cry. My brother keep us until they gon' rip my tricky or treat you, I teach like a teacher. My city, I want to be house up on season. She's greedy and they knock you off for no reason. Got 3 why I said I got 3 different meanings. My dog gon' do hair, they go get a reading. You gon' get the gun and ain't no more agreeing. I took the rap game for not letting me in. I kept some blue faces, we straight to the end. You stuck to the basic, I switched up the win. We stayed in Jamaica, me family and friends. We poppin' E38, but we poppin' G6. Convertible cool like a cup with no lid. But first that's the truth, I ain't capping a bit. We could've been cool, but he mad by the bitch. Got too much codeine, I'll never be sick. I'm rich, you wanna know why? I addict, I love to get high. Look, I'm way in the sky. I'm flickety fly. Wake up in the morning, I put that shit on and I don't even try. I fuck with no horn and they clip or the board and no time to say.
Got that piece welded in, got tacked in, looks good. So I'm gonna run a bead on it across the top and then go from there.
Bye. The coops ain't color the sky. My roots is color with dye. Know you freaky, don't act like you shy. It's the truth, I'm a fucker, no lie. Your whole crew know I come from the south. We don't run in your house, but you run in your mouth. I'ma drop for my fans that they powder. Don't give them no drip, they gon' think it's a drought. How much money, don't know the amount. It's too much, need another account. All these hundreds I think about. Made the truck do the bank head bounce. And my nigga be splitting my fingers, is split I look like a glacier house. I got millions of money, ain't signed a young dog, but I took me a paper route. I think I know what they hate about. For all you suckers that laugh without. It ain't nowhere I'm waiting around. Bring me my money, I gotta go now. I'm blessed with amazing sound. Thanks to the Lord that my talent was found. I was rocking that hand-me-downs. King with that drip and I still got the crown. I'm rich, you wanna know why? I addict, I love to get high. Look, I'm way in the sky. I'm flickety fly. Wake up in the morning, I put that shit on and I don't even try. I fuck with a hornet, they clip or the board and no time to say bye.
What's good, folks? We back. So this is where we're looking at right now. Went ahead and welded this center section in. I just got the paint drying right now, and then I got this top part paint drying right now that I'm gonna flip over and weld on top of this. So I'm painting it right now, or I'm painting the bottom, what will be the bottom part of it, because I'm gonna put it in there, seal it up, and then I'm gonna make some templates for the sides, seal the sides up so I can box it in together. And then everything is solid, everything is done with the middle part there, and then I can finally get on to flipping it over and actually welding in the underside plating. So that's gonna be the hardest part. That's gonna take the most designing and shaping and stuff like that. So that's gonna be the most interesting part for the video and whatnot. But this is where it's at now, basically just waiting for this to dry a little bit, get tacky, then like I said, to flip it over, tack it in place, design the side parts, and then go from there. So I will see you guys once I have it flipped over and tacked in. YouTube. I don't even know what day it is anymore. 3 or 4 of this video, I'm not sure. Done a few clips, a few intro clips on it. Don't really remember anymore. But we're back again. Today we should be finishing up the main parts of the subframe before I can leave it for a while until I can mock it up in the car. So let's just get into what the plan is. So basically, I have my center section welded in. Went ahead and I'm not sure if I updated the video from where I had gone in the last one. I went ahead and cut out the center section, welded in this plate. There's a top plate, bottom plate, and then the sides have been boxed in. So that's super duper strong. Everything is super solid, back to being rigid. Went ahead and welded this plate in for this bar, this plate in, and then these corner plates for these bars. So everything is good. I'm gonna flap this thing down, get rid of the welds, just get as much clearance as possible. So everything's looking all good there. And then we have a new challenge. So I don't know if I've gone over one of the parts. This bracket right here is where the lower control arm mounts, the camber arm. A little bit too high. You can see here that the raise that I'm doing is sitting above where the actual arm would go. So like this side is already finished. I already cut off the mounts. Then I'm going to buy some brackets from TMR Customs and put the heim joint right there. So I have my heim joint over here. This is just a mock-up one. I have 28 more of these, but heim joint's gonna go right here. Then I'm gonna weld the tabs onto the subframe, and as you can see, it will sit much lower. I might cut into the subframe here, just at a bit of an angle, just so I can get a little bit more clearance so that the heim joint can actually sit farther down before it hits. So that's the plan there. Still got to cut that side off, but once I do, everything will be all good. So that's the plan there. Other plan is the other control arm here, the tension arm, mounts right here. So I have a lot more cutting to do here, but I have a new plan that I'm just going to cut off from right here. So everything on this side is going to get deleted for now, and then I'm going to get a piece of tubing. I'm going to weld it in higher up, come across here, and then build and get another bracket, the same tabs that I'm going to be welding on here, buy another tab to weld onto the end of the piece of tubing that comes right here, and then it will be able to hold this arm in here. Basically, the reason why this is so far back from factory is because there's a big bushing that sticks here. But now that I have a heim joint, just tiny, obviously, within the bolt hole, I have all of this free space here. So I have the ability to just get rid of this, everything from back here, not have to worry about it anymore. That's just going to make it easier than trying to shave it down and keep structural integrity in this with having to cut off, you know, about half of it, like down here basically. So just going to be easier to cut this off and refab a part onto the mount here. So that's what I'm going to do. Just to start off today, I'm just going to go ahead and do a chop on each one of these sides, and then grind this down a little bit more here, and then start building the plates that will sit in this tubing, tack them in, and then go ahead and weld them in. And then we're basically done for what we need to do until I get the piece of tubing that's going to go here and the brackets to mount to finish up this portion here. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get into that. I'm going to set you guys up on the tripod while I am cutting this stuff down, and I'll come back once I have this cut and all ready to go. So yeah.
Don't sell no deal, say you got red, you ain't gotta say no more. Good bitch from the J's, with good head, you ain't gotta say no more. Picking them up, I hit from the back, I pull out and wipe off. Got sticks in the car, got sticks in the house, protected like I go. I'm not racist.
Got the pieces that I cut off. Looking fucking good so far. Went ahead and got a little cardboard sheet mocked up for the piece that I'm going to cut out there. Went ahead and transferred it over onto my piece of 8-inch flat bar right here. Went ahead and sketched it. So now I'm just gonna cut this out from this, and then put it right here, put it in, and then start flap disking it down to get it to fit, and then I'll tack it in, make the one for the other side, and we're all good. All right, we are back for the last update before this thing is fully welded, or at least all the top parts are basically. This is what we're looking like right now. Went ahead and got these new top pieces cut out and tacked in. Looking pretty solid. I'm about to just final weld them in place, fill in this gap right here too, and then flap disc it down. Looking pretty solid though, and then I just got to make some end pieces here for these caps, grind this down. This is going to be just a whole nother part of the project. I'm just going to be calling this a finished subframe for now. It's a little bit too much work just to do all this in this video. So that might be another video. That'll be part of the video where I'm actually putting it in the car and mocking it up. I know this might not be a 3-part series, or at least really worthy of a 3-part series, but works out a little bit better for me, and I want to get another video out. So I'm going to go ahead and post this once I have this part of it all finished up. So I'm going to go ahead and set you guys up on the tripod, go ahead and finish weld this in place, see how we're looking after that, and then hell yeah.
So we met us a pallet. Go get a check, go and collect. Make sure your history valid. Make me a video recording that challenge. Then I get right back to traffic.
So went ahead and got both sides welded in. You can see here. A little bit of fucking bullshit here. I went ahead and filled this in. It kind of fucked up a little bit there, but it'll look all good once it's grinded down. So now I just got to grind it down. Everything, all the welds. Everything here. Gotta still let it cool down a little bit. Super duper hot to the touch here. So, but yeah, gonna do that. Flap disc it down. I'll come back once it's flap disc, and then I'll go ahead and get ready to paint it, and then we'll go from there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we're looking. Almost final. I'm just gonna hit it with some paint, just for now, just so that it doesn't rust up or anything like that. So I'm gonna hit it with some paint. Other than that, looking pretty solid. Got everything kind of flap disc down, looking a bit better. Went ahead and plated these edges just a little bit. The metal was pretty thin there, so looking a lot better now. But pretty solid. Honestly, with where this is at right now, I'm happy with it, but I'm at the point where I think that I am going to make a tubular subframe for the car, but this is going to work for an as now thing. So I'll probably throw this in the car, get all the arms made, do the tube front and stuff, and then maybe get around to making a tubular subframe there. But I do need to make a jig to make a tubular subframe. So that'll be a later video, probably a few months down the road. But I'm pretty happy with where this is at. The only clip after this, I'll show you guys what it looks like once I just have some paint on it. Obviously, I still need to get the weld-on brackets for the camber arms, but that's the thing that will come later. Like I said, I'm just going to throw some paint on it so it doesn't rust, anything like that. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with it, pretty solid. Got about an inch of raise off of the bottom. Nice and solid here. Again, it's all eighth inch steel off of that big piece right there. And then I had some flat bar laying around, just this 1/8 inch, 2-inch flat bar. The small side is 1-inch flat bar, and then 2-inch flat bar over here, just cut down just to fit inside. Like I tried to do, I tried to recess the bars down a little bit, the metal, just so that the weld wouldn't be the first thing scraping. This bottom plate is going to be the first thing that touches the ground, and then all of the welds are just a bit higher up, just so that they are a bit more protected. I thought that seemed like a good idea. You can kind of see it right here, just that the welds are a little bit lower down, not directly on the top. This is just still part of the original metal tubing. So looking pretty solid though. Like I said, I'm going to throw some paint on it, then we'll come back once I got it painted, and I'll show you guys the final product. Alright, so here's how we're looking. Just went ahead and laid a few coats down. Just going to let the paint dry up a little bit, then I'm going to flip it over, hit the other side of it, just from under there, a little bit hard to see. But yeah, I'm going to hit the underside of it, get all that metal cleaned up, and then obviously we'll come back to it, flap disc this back down to get to bare metal, weld on the tabs, go ahead and design the end corners that I cut off, these pieces, then yeah, go from there. All in all though, pretty happy with how it's come out so far. We're looking at about 2 inches of raise in total, about an inch and so from an inch and 5/16 from the top, then about another full inch from the bottom. So looking solid there, a little bit more than 2 inches actually, but all in all 2 inches is what I'm happy with, as I want to lower the car about 2 inches, so looking super duper solid there. Yeah, I want to say thank you guys very much for tuning in for another video. I know it's kind of a yap sesh, kind of all over the place, a few random things here and there, but next video should be fun. Next video should be doing the floors, or at least starting to cut out the car, designing it. Just kind of want to walk you guys through the process of what I'm thinking when I'm doing all of it, just because I know that it is a pretty involved process and a lot of people have a lot of questions about it. Obviously I'm not like a genius, I've never done floors before, but I have the general understanding of it. So I want to try to walk you guys through the process and just show exactly what I'm thinking, how I'm going to do it all. Just so if anybody does want to do it to their car and they don't know what they're doing, maybe you can take a little bit of inspiration from my video. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video once we're doing my floors. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.